forgetting the freaking flies. Little salt and pepper shakers can shake up your routine. I hope Sid sees that. He's gonna really appreciate the pun there. I'm on set for our McGee & Co. spring photo shoot, and this photo shoot is in the middle of a construction zone, which happens to be one of our upcoming Studio McGee projects, but a few rooms were finished before the rest of the home, so we could shoot this catalog, and all of the furniture around me is looking so beautiful. It feels very peaceful and chaotic with all that's going on right now, and I'm gonna share some behind the scenes of all of our products coming soon.
Here, I'll take this.
So looking at a scene like this, like
You only lose the arm of this chair and just a little bit more of this chair. I love designing for spring because after months of being cooped up in my house in winter, the spring collection really keeps me going and I imagine myself somewhere else. This was very much inspired by cottage living. We've got ruffles, fringe, embroidery. We're not just saying you get one floral in the room, we're saying you get lots. Every piece has a little extra detail added to it in a way that feels effortless, and that's what we're all about, creating pieces that have that thoughtfulness, but also make it easy for you to mix and match together. The entryway is your home's first impression, and you want it to feel inviting, but not overdone. I love this piece. I had pulled lots of inspiration of iron staircases that had a lot of curvature to them, and that inspired this console table. I was in Europe and fell in love with etched glass and came home and applied them to these hurricanes. The flicker of the candlelight hits the etching of the glass just right. So in this collection, I kept asking myself, what makes a classic? I love a white button-down shirt that really stand the test of time. And they all have little details and the shape and the fit is perfect. And that is how I want to approach furniture in the living room. When I'm pulling together a living room look, I like to choose one or two pieces that are must-haves. This rug is one of my favorite rugs that we've ever designed, and that was a must-have. Same with this coffee table. I wanted this modern surprise in the context of this home that has a more cottage-inspired design. We have these new chairs, and when I was designing them, the directive was a comfortable but a little bit funky lounge chair, petite enough that you could pair two together in a small space. And then let's add some fun. So we have our Astrid stools, and I have this textile that I'm obsessed with. You'll see that fabric make another appearance on this window seat back here in the longest lumbar ever. I love a really oversized lumbar pillow because it feels more custom and designer because it doesn't feel off the rack. When I'm designing a room, I want to vary the types of lighting, so different levels and functionalities. We've worked really hard to achieve the perfect brass. It's not too matte, it's not too shiny, it's just right. It's the Goldilocks of brasses. I want to vary how much upholstery I have in a space, and I want to add a wood frame into the mix, but I also want it to be comfortable. So this is the perfect solution for that. You get a wood accent, it has a dark stain on it, and then we've added some interesting details that bring this to life. Typically, when you think of Burl, you're thinking of the natural kind of honey tone, but this is a dark wood burl. You're getting some movement and interest, which is great against solid stains like this chair. Look at the blue moment that we are having in this dining room. Even the full-on Canadian tuxedo that I have going on works in this space. I love that you could use this for a weeknight meal or in this setting that feels much more formal. I love these. They're a mix of a shine and a matte silver. I always love to balance fancy with something that feels a little bit more pared back. And often a natural woven material is the thing that does just that. I cannot miss pointing out this tablecloth. I was so inspired by the tonal quality of the floral, and we've carried it onto everything from a tablecloth to pillows to wallpaper, which is stunning, and even upholstery. We've paired lots of great furniture and lighting with this tablescape. Our Hastings Pendant, our Whittaker dining chair, and our Hughes table. And lastly, a new introduction for us. This is the Concord upholstered chair. So this comes in a version that the legs are exposed and also one where the skirt goes all the way to the floor. That we get like a petite wingback detail. So it's very comfortable, but it doesn't feel invasive into the conversation happening around the table. The kitchen is where we spend so much time, and we want to pay attention to the details of the design just as much as the function. And in this look, I was really inspired by maritime scenes, sailboats and watery landscapes, rope imagery, and that really influenced the details in the products that you see behind me. This is a new counter stool for us. It also comes in an oak finish, and then you can choose your fabric. I don't even want to tell you how many iterations, so many drawings to get the details perfect. We all need a white plate in our lives, but let's make it a little bit special. And we've done that with this dinnerware collection. With a new cookbook coming out really soon, kitchen has been on the brain, and we designed these new canisters, these olive wood utensils here, and this new terracotta pot that has the prettiest little detail on it. The lights in here. We're not getting an overt ship look, but it is inspired by those classic maritime elements. Not all of us live in a cottage, but there are still ways to incorporate that charm into our own spaces, whether that's an urban apartment or a home in the suburbs. And in this space, that was one of my biggest goals. So we went pretty heavy on the cottage style in the bed look, but then we did some streamlined pieces around the space. So we have launched a new linen bedding collection, and I touched so many different linen swatches to come up with the perfect look that felt great too, and it has this beautiful edge detail. I love this coverlet because you can see how the light hits it. It's not a flat textile, and it has a really soft hand to it as well. Then we did a quilt, and the quilt is reversible. I am so excited about our new solid rug collection. This is a collection that I have been working on for quite some time to get the most beautiful look and feel in a solid rug. I didn't want it to just look like a blank rectangle in a space. I wanted it to have some movement, and when the light hit it, you could really see that beautiful texture. So no pattern here, which is a departure from that cottage look. Then on the nightstands, we have these really beautiful brown lamps, and they have a brown shade and a sleek curved base, and that is the perfect balance. But I love that you can take inspiration from things that you've seen in books, or maybe you traveled somewhere and then come home, and regardless of where you're living, you can infuse that into your own space. This is just a little tease of what's to come. We will be sharing this full Studio McGee project very soon.